So if my dad had been killed with a gun, and I got a tattoo on my face with a gun, no one can tell me nothing, innit? So this week, what? Raheem Sterling with a gun on his leg. What, it's bad? What? Why is that so bad that he's got a gun on his leg? But what it represents is nothing to do with him promoting gun violence and gun culture.
Yeah, I hear that, but you've got to look at it from the perspective of the people who don't know Sterling or don't know what's happening to his life. All they're seeing is just an image of a gun.
But then, like, the fact that you don't know him and you don't know what's going on in his life, why does that then give you the power to then judge him?
It doesn't, but within the same breath, he's in the public eye.
He is.
So he's going to be judged no matter what he does or
That's true.
What he does. So he has to put that into consideration when he's
Making these decisions.
exactly that.
Yeah. But, like, before he's a superstar, he's an individual. He's a person. He's a human. Before you say he's an athlete, he's at the top level. So why then the fact that he puts art onto his body? Because having a tattoo is a form of art and it's a form of expression and it's based on the individual and it's specific to that individual and it's personal. So why does he need to take into consideration how that art that is special to him affects other people?
I understand what you're saying, but you got to remember that piece of artwork is on display. People is going to see that, and they're going to make assumptions based on what they can see.
Yeah, but like all art's on display. So if you go to a gallery,
It is on display, but the interpretation of what he's doing it for is not on display. So we don't know his motive behind that artwork. So you're going to make your own kind of presumption as to what you think that artwork's might, whether it be he's part of the gun culture, he's come from a bad environment.
Yeah.
He has to think about these things if he's going to do these things.
yeah. But then it goes back to my original point that just because we don't know that person,
Yeah.
it doesn't then give us the power to then judge that person and say that he's endorsing gun culture. If he's actually already come out and said that it's not about that, it's actually about my dad who got killed when I was 2 years old, and I made a vow that I would never touch a gun, and I've put the gun on my right foot because that's the foot that I shoot with in football.
Okay, I can understand where he's going with that, but yeah, I do understand where you're going with that because that's the gun that. Okay, I see, but
At the same time, he is in the public eye, and he what?
it's not just that. It's not just that as well, because you need to understand the negative connotation behind that image and how people is going to view that,
Yeah.
and the impact it's going to have on the kids that's out there that's going to view this image.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, remember the place that he's got it as well. He hasn't got it in his arm.
No.
He's got it on the side of his leg where his football socks will cover it most of the time. So now he goes to training and the media is then taking a picture of him and then blowing it up and said, oh yeah, gun on his leg.
Look at it in this perspective then. So let's say if he's going for a regular job interview, right? And then he's got tattoos on. You know they advise you not to have tattoos on your sleeve, right? Isn't that the kind of same kind of concept or idea where he's have this tattoo on display, but it's quite an offensive tattoo?
But the thing is with that is football players, for some reason, there's exception to the rule. Football players are yatted. They got tattoos all on their neck, all on their arms. There's an exception to the rule where if you're talented enough and you're liked, it's fine for you to have tattoos.
So why do you think he's getting all the negative press right now then?
I think he always gets negative press. He always gets negative press. Before he had the gun tattoo, he was getting negative press just from moving from one club to another. He was getting negative press for missing chances, even though he scores 21, 27 goals, whatever it is in the season.
Do you think he was aware that he's getting all these negative press?
Yeah, 100%.
So wouldn't that kind of influence the decisions that he makes?
But then, just because someone don't like you, don't mean you stop doing what you want to do.
That is true, but to you then, as a young black male, do you not make decisions based on what other people might view you as?
I make decisions based on how I feel at that moment in time. And if it's only if it's something personal to me and as powerful as his message is, then it doesn't matter what any other person says. So
you-
if my dad had been killed with a gun, and I got a tattoo on my face with a gun, no one can tell me nothing in it, because it's my dad and it's something so. No, honestly,
I'm
no
your
one.
friend.
Yeah, you can, but no one can tell me that it's right or wrong, because at the end of the day, we're not talking like distance. We're talking my dad was killed by a gun. So now all these other people to say that, oh yeah, it's the wrong thing to do, it's that, it's this. But when he's actually explained it already and said why he's done it, why is it now still a problem? They're talking about they should have.
Yo, Chupsy. Over there, man. Over there, sir.
So they're talking about that they should have kicked him off the England team going into the World Cup, and he should get laser removed. Hold the phone, laser removed.
I agree, but that's taking it way too far, and it doesn't need to go to that far at all. But it still comes down to, like, people do have preconceptions, how they perceive you based on your looks or whatever you do as well. That image is a very powerful image. You've got to think about what it represents.
But the thing is, like, if I start to think about now, I start to care about what everyone thinks of me, and all of a sudden you start to stop doing what you like. So if everyone says, oh yeah, black people are intimidating, black people are this or black people are that, now I've got to stop wearing hoodies. What? Or I can't wear my hood up walking down the street at night. What? Just because someone thinks something of me, don't mean I have to stop that. So because he's a black male, doesn't mean that he should stop expressing himself the way he sees fit, especially in something as personal as your dad being killed by a gun.
Okay, so let's take another perspective then. Say you're in a relationship with your girl right now, right? Do you find yourself that you compromise?
Of course.
Isn't it the same thing with living amongst other people? You're going to have to find yourself to compromise to make.
Yes.
So
for certain things, but we're talking something like that's as meaningful and as personal as your dad being killed by a gun.
Right. Okay. Yeah, but my argument with that is that when it comes back to the artwork now, not everyone's going to interpret the same way.
No. And that's okay. That's fine that no one interprets it the same way. But you can't judge someone for you can't judge the artist, or judge, like, not even the artist, because you're not judging the tattoo artist. You're judging the person that it's on. So you wouldn't go and judge the gallery that it's in. You can't go and judge the gallery that it's in because you don't think that's politically correct, when actually the message is completely different to what you perceive it as. So actually you're wrong. Actually you're wrong, in fact. You know what I mean?
I do what you say. I do see where you're coming from, but I personally, deep down, if my dad got killed by a gunshot, having a gun tattoo is not the first thing that will come to my mind.
That's you. That's fine.
Which is fine. But yes, I understand it might be for his personal reasons, and he understands why it's on there. But to the rest of the world, they're not going to see that.
Yeah, and should that be his problem? It's nothing to do with them.
If he wants to be part of the community that he's in, or in this world, you have to think about how other people perceive you. You have to. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, I do. I agree to a certain extent, but when we start talking about something that's deep and as personal as your dad being killed, I think that you get to decide how you express it, regardless of how other people think, because it's not their dad. So how can they tell you how to react?
I can't argue that.
You know what I mean?
I can't argue about this.
But we watched a video earlier, and it was talking about the actual same thing, and it was a person who's known Raheem Sterlings since he's 8 years old.
Yeah.
And he was talking about a whole bunch of different things, and a person on the panel there asked in a way where we kind of, it's a rhetorical question, but he asked, if it was a white player that had this tattoo on his leg, would it be the same uproar? And I think I would answer that rhetorical question, and I would say, no, it wouldn't be the same. It just wouldn't. It wouldn't be the same.
I'll say yes and no to that, because I think there's an element of the social background itself as to whether there'll be an uproar or not. If someone grew up in an area where it's known for gun violence or have some sort of low economy, not necessarily low economy, but
Low, like a low socio-economical status.
yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Then there's always going to be preconception of them being a bad person or being associated to that environment. So you have, if you've come from that environment, you have to take actions that's going to separate you from that negativity, even if it means restricting your choices that you personally want to make.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be associated with that negativity, so you have to make those choices.
See, I completely disagree. And I disagree to say that I feel like if a person of ethnic minority, so black or Asian or whatever it is, they're from a low social economic state background,
Yeah.
they will be seen as somebody who's more aggressive, somebody who has a chip on their shoulder, someone who's done this and that, regardless of them now becoming a superstar and an athletic superstar, compared to a white person with the same low socioeconomical background. They would be seen as a hero and he's made it out the struggle in England. They wouldn't be seen as something negative or something. They wouldn't be seen as someone who has a chip on their shoulder, someone who's aggressive. They would be seen as someone who had the resiliency to get out of what they got out of, and now they're a superstar.
But it still comes back to having to compromise. Because do you honestly, as a young black male in Britain, not find yourself having to compromise in order to accommodate to everyone else effectively?
At times, as on a small scale, but if
So what's the difference from this one then?
because it's a big scale. I'm talking like his dad's died. His dad is dead. Like if it's something small, he had to compromise all his life. Most people of ethnic minorities, most people of ethnic descent need to compromise in England just every day.